Withered Pines is a town you won't find on any map. Its streets are lined with ordinary houses, but the air hums with something wrong. Time doesn't flow right here. An ancient brass hourglass, its sand-stained like dried blood, has passed through the homes of this cursed place for generations. They say it sings to those who listen too long, unraveling their minds, pulling them into places that shouldn't exist. I've seen what it does. These are 3 stories from Withered Pines. 3 families who heard the sand's call. Listen closely, but beware, the hourglass is still out there. Story 1: The Girl Who Heard the Sand. My name is Ethan, and I live in a split-level house on Maple Lane, Withered Pines. It's the kind of place you'd see in a sitcom. Faded red roof, creaky wooden floors, and a kitchen that smells of coffee and burnt toast. My family seems normal. Mom with her forced smiles, Dad always distracted by work, and my younger sister Emily. But Emily's different. Her dark hair falls messily over her pale face, and her blue eyes seem to see things the rest of us can't. At dinner, the kitchen's dim light casts long shadows, and the old clock ticks too loudly, like a heartbeat racing. Emily sits across from me, cutting her food with surgical precision. The knife glints under the fluorescent bulb, and her movements are slow, deliberate. Sometimes she stares at me and whispers, "Do you ever wonder what's buried inside you, Ethan?" Her voice is soft, but it crawls under my skin. Mom laughs nervously, brushing it off, but her eyes dart to the clepsydra on the shelf, a heavy brass thing we inherited from some distant relative. Its sand seems to shimmer, even in the dark. At night, the house feels alive. The floorboards groan, and the air grows thick, like it's watching. I've caught Emily standing in her room, staring at the hourglass, her lips moving as if she's talking to someone. Once, I crept to her door and heard her whisper, "The sand knows where you're hiding." The words weren't for me, or maybe they were. I backed away, my heart pounding, as the shadows in her room seemed to twist. Emily's strangeness grows. She collects newspaper clippings about missing people and sketches symbols I don't recognize. Mom and Dad pretend it's just a phase, but their voices tremble when they talk about her. One night, I wake to the sound of sand hissing, like the hourglass is spilling over. Emily's door is ajar, and she's sitting cross-legged, the hourglass in her lap, her eyes glowing faintly in the dark. "It's almost time," she says, not looking at me. I don't know what she means, but I'm too scared to ask. Withered Pines has always felt off, but now it's like the house itself is holding its breath, waiting for Emily to unravel us all. Story 2: The Father Who Saw Beyond. I'm Nathan, and my family lives on Cedar Street, Withered Pines. Our house is warm, with a big oak table in the kitchen and soft green walls that glow under the evening light. Mom's gentle, always in control. My little sister, Lily, has a laugh that fills the room. But Dad's changed. He's tall, with gray hair and eyes that pierce through you. Lately, he's been distant. It started at dinner. Dad sat at the head of the table, staring at something we couldn't see. His smile was gone, replaced by a cold, thin line. "Have you ever thought," he said, his voice low, "how fragile our reality is?" Mom tried to laugh, but it came out wrong, like a gasp. Lily glanced at me, her eyes wide. Dad kept talking about parallel worlds, lives we could have lived, cracks in existence. His words felt heavy, like they were pulling the air from the room. The hourglass on the mantel, an old heirloom, seemed to hum, its sand glinting unnaturally. That night, I heard whispers from Dad's room, low, guttural, not his voice. I crept to the door, but it slammed shut before I could look. The next day, Dad acted normal, but the house felt wrong. I caught him talking to the hourglass in the kitchen, his voice frantic, like he was arguing with it. One night, I found him staring at it, his eyes wild, reflecting something that wasn't there. "They're watching," he muttered, through the sand. Dad's obsession grew. He was hospitalized after a breakdown, but the doctors found nothing. No illness, no cause. When he came home, he wandered the backyard, staring at the stars, saying they spoke to him. The hourglass sits in the living room now, its sand moving even when no one touches it. The house feels like a stage for something we can't see, and I'm afraid Dad's still listening to the sand song, lost in a world that's not ours. Story 3: The House That Breathed Madness. I'm Caleb, and I made the mistake of accepting a dinner invitation from my friend Jake's family on Elm Road, Withered Pines. Their house looked normal, neat lawn, tidy porch, but the moment I stepped inside, a chill ran through me. The air was thick, like it clung to my skin. Jake's family seemed ordinary, his dad with a smile too sharp, his mom, her face a mask of calm, his younger sister with vacant eyes, and his older brother Tyler, who watched me like a predator. Dinner was silent, the clinking of silverware deafening. The hourglass on the dining table gleamed, its sand trickling too slowly, like it was mocking time itself. Jake's dad spoke in a low voice, telling stories of relatives who vanished without a trace. His mom's smile never wavered, but her eyes were cold. Tyler toyed with his spoon, dragging it along his plate, his grin unhinged. When I met his gaze, his eyes flickered with something inhuman. After dinner, Jake's dad offered a tour. The house felt alive, its walls pulsing with secrets. The dining room was lined with portraits, their eyes following me. The kitchen held knives, too sharp for cooking. Then we reached Tyler's room. "Don't go in there," his dad whispered, but my curiosity won. I opened the door and froze. The room was a nightmare. Dolls with twisted faces lined the shelves. Mannequins hung from the ceiling, swaying slightly. Tyler sat on the bed, clutching the hourglass, his eyes locked on mine. "Like my collection?" he asked, his voice dripping with malice. I ran, the house's shadows chasing me. Jake's family was a facade, hiding a madness the hourglass had unleashed. Withered Pines isn't just a town, it's a trap, and that hourglass is its heart, still ticking, still singing. These are the stories of Withered Pines, where the hourglass binds families to its curse. It's out there, in someone's home, its sand whispering truths no one should hear. If you ever find it, don't listen, don't look, because once the sand starts falling, there's no way back.